want to talk about the term risk management because I'm sure we all have a sense of what that means, but I want to give you a very clear definition or a parameter of how to look at risk management in terms of what your organization does and how to look at the process of risk management. And very cleverly, we have not put that in your handout. So what that means is you have to be wide awake and you're going to have to write this part down. The handouts are very thorough, but this part you're going to have to write down. And the definition of risk management is basically this. It's identifying, eliminating, reducing, and transferring the risks associated with your operations and your programs. So I will go over that again. There's 4 categories: identifying, eliminating, reducing, and transferring risks associated with your operations and programs. Now, I know many of you will be here in your capacity as perhaps a minister, as a board member at a church, but we have a lot of organizations that are represented in this room who are involved in missions and relief organizations, drop-in centers, Bible colleges, a variety of parachurch ministries. And your operations and programs may be different than the next person beside you in their organization. There might be some similarities, but there's going to be a lot of differences. So when you think about this definition of risk management, you need to think about the organization that you're representing. And to go over those 4 points just very briefly, how do you manage risk unless you know what your risks are? And that's part of what this presentation is, to talk a little bit about what are the risks that are associated with Christian ministry today in 2008 in Canada. Because to make an effective plan and to move forward and to have confidence, you need to know what your risks are. Secondly, to eliminate risks that are maybe not really essential to what you're doing. You suddenly realize, hey, we're doing this, but we don't really need to be doing this, or somebody can do it better or more safely. They have the right personnel there, they have the right equipment, they have a budget. It's not something that we should really be doing. Another way of looking at risk is reducing risk. Implementing safety procedures relative to programs, building facilities, basically doing the kinds of things to reduce the chance of injury or damage. And finally, at the end of the day, as with anything else in all of our lives, there's risk in living. It doesn't matter whether you're looking at it from a spiritual perspective or a strictly secular perspective, there's a lot of risk out there every day. Go on a 400 series highway, you step out of your door in the morning. You know, there's risk in everything that we do. So in your ministry, in your organization, you will, even if you've done good risk management, at the end of the day, you've got risk. And part of the solution of risk is insurance. It's one tool for transferring risk. And one of the things I will challenge you about too is when we think about insurance, we think about it as an industry, the insurance industry, insurance companies. But I want you to think about in risk management terms, don't think about it as an industry, think about it as a principle. And the principle is simply this. You have risks or situations that can arise, worst case scenarios. A building burns down completely. You suddenly get a multi-million-dollar lawsuit delivered to your organization. You don't have the resources to be able to handle that. And so insurance is about pooling together with other policyholders, paying premiums against the possible eventuality that some of those organizations might face a crisis that they cannot handle financially. So the principle is insurance is part of the risk management process. It's not the same as risk management, it's part of risk management. So as I'm doing the presentation, keep that parameter in mind when you're thinking about plans for your organization, for you as leaders in reviewing and reducing risk and transferring risk and eliminating risk.